You're listening to.
You are listening to.
You're listening.
Yo, what up, bitches? You're listening to Hey Poopy Podcast. Get your shit on.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy Podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Oh, yes. Welcome back. Welcome back to Dump Day.
Hey, everybody. This is the Hey Poopy Podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 81, but it'll always be number 2 to us. We have a very special guest today, Frank Vignola.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you got it.
I read it, and my brain just goes, bloop.
Yeah, because there was a word before that, and I saw you stumble out. She's going to get in her head now about my name. Because you were already dreading it, like, fuck his fucking name.
You did great.
Three
you did
names.
great.
Yeah,
Dyslexia is a bitch.
I hear you.
But Frank is a life coach, so he's going to be very positive about poops and farts today.
Yes,
Right.
thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
And Frank, before we go into who you really are, we'd like to know, how is your poo? Did you poo today? How have you been
Yes.
pooping?
Yeah, I've been pooping. I've been about a 4.
Ooh,
Yeah.
bravo.
Wow.
Yeah,
Spectacular.
but I mean, 4s are good. I'm a fan of the 3s personally. Yeah, I
have a preference?
Like 3s. Yeah, I mean, there's something, I don't know. There's something satisfying about it. And 3s are usually like the no wipe, and sometimes they're even like the ghost, the infamous ghost poop, where it's just like, where did it go? I don't like that though. I like to look at my work when I'm done.
Oh,
Same here.
I would prefer
like
to have
to
ghost
inspect.
poops. I'd like those.
Yeah. The ghost. You like the ghost poop?
I like when you just don't. I don't want to see any of that. It's just so gross. But, I do realize the irony in that since I have a podcast about pooping.
I think we look at everything that comes out of us. When we blow our nose, we usually look at the tissue.
I think that's a good way of checking our health. You want to
I
make
think
sure
so.
that what you blow out of your nose doesn't have blood in it or mucus or something green. And so, look at this stuff.
I agree.
I wonder.
But there's
Yeah.
times where I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't want to see all the disgusting things that come out of me. I'd rather pretend. Ignorance sometimes is bliss.
No, not me. I'm all about the disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
What
my
about
God.
you, Dave? How have your poos been?
I don't think did I go to the bathroom today? I don't think I even went to the bathroom today. Did I?
Oh, my goodness.
I got up. I had like a really shitty night's sleep. I've been setting up my alarm to get up earlier, and I got up at like 7, and it was just really annoying because this whole fireworks thing has been going on in Brooklyn and around the country. So I just kept getting woken up by like fireworks. So I had a kind of like not really a restful sleep. But I guess maybe I must have gone to the bathroom this morning because I went for a run today. So I'm really having a hard time remembering. It's like that's how this day's been started. It's been like I had to run. I ran, got home, took a shower, then I meet my wife over at a friend's place because we were watching their house, and they got painters coming over there. So I had to go drop off the keys to them. And I don't think I've gone to the bathroom yet today. I think I've just peed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Normally I
That
have to
is
go
crazy.
like right away when I first wake up. But yeah, I don't think I've taken a shit today.
Yeah, you usually go when you first wake up or
Yep.
after a run.
Nothing.
I'm a little confused.
I've eaten
Wow.
breakfast. I had lunch. Still haven't gone to the bathroom.
Wow.
It'll happen. I just like sometimes when I get a little busy with work and like doing things, it just like it's kind of not that I forget to go to the bathroom. I just like feel like, oh, I should probably go at some point, but it'll happen.
You need to report to me tomorrow if you had a full day of constipation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel fine. I don't feel like backed up or anything, but we'll see.
You might be a 1.
Yeah,
Be a 1.
I mean, let's hope not. I mean, I haven't been constipated in so long that this would be breaking the streak. So I don't know. Fingers
I don't
crossed.
know if I've ever been constipated. No, I have been. It's so seldom. It's usually the other
way.
problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Then you take supplements to
bind it up.
Yeah.
Bind it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Ellen? I'm sure you've had some epic check-in today.
I made poo-poo today. It was like a broken up 4. It wasn't my normal, like really long, strong, 12-inch dingy dong. But and then I made right before we recorded, went pee. And I squeezed out this tiny little turd, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
That's so your MO though. It's like you're up and down,
but it was like this
peaks and valleys.
I know, totally a roller coaster of the Bristol stool chart. But 2 nights ago, I ate some shishito peppers, which I absolutely love, and I think it screwed up both me and my partner Gerald's stomach, and he was seeing shishito pepper seeds in his poop. And I was like, I eat shishitos all the time. I've never had them fuck me up like this before. So that'll be interesting.
You got a bad batch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's more to come.
It's nice when you could see the food that you've eaten in your poop.
Like corn.
Yeah, among other things. Yeah.
When it's like colors. Completely undigested. This is like a whole lump of kernels.
Wash it off and serve it.
Or beets. When you eat beets and then your poop is red.
Red, yeah.
Yeah, that's you forgot you ate beets. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I have heard some interesting stories about different colored foods and how they can dye your shit. I have a client who told me a whole story about, I think it was Burger King. It was Burger King or McDonald's that they had this black slushy or Slurpee thing that they were doing for a while. So the way they created the black was with a ton of green dye.
Oh,
and they put so much in that it made it look black.
Right.
But it was just a ton of green dye. And this was obviously FDA approved. It's not harmful to you. However, right, exactly.
Yeah, that we know
Burger
of.
King or McDonald's,
Yeah, that's as harmful as subjective in this case. But there was what they didn't tell you is that your shit the next day is going to be like Kelly green, like bright green.
Oh.
He had a whole story about this. I was so fascinated that I was like, I wanted to try it, but they didn't have it anymore.
Do you guys have that slushy? Oh my God.
Kelly green, he said.
Oh.
It was like, yeah, how cool is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then imagine wiping. It's like paint by, like you're painting with your poop.
Yeah.
He's
you're
like,
like sheep peeping and you're like, what the?
Yeah, that's probably the first place where he saw it, actually. Yeah, I'm just realizing it wasn't when he looked down. He probably wiped and was like, what the fuck?
He's like looking, well, he's probably just, he probably looked down and was going like, something like this.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Wait,
something along that line.
What flavor was this black slushy supposed to be?
That's a good question. I wonder if that even came up.
Is that like charcoal or?
No, that's a great question. I can't believe I didn't even think to ask him that. If it's black, what flavor would they make it?
Because, when you were telling me that it was FDA approved, the McDonald's milkshake. I don't know about currently, but back in the day, McDonald's milkshakes were vegan because there was no milk product in it, but it was actually made with a digestible plastic.
Oh,
so
wow.
You wouldn't, it had zero nutritional value. It was just frozen plastic that you drank.
But it was oh, wow. But it was digestible.
Well, according to the FDA. That's why I'm like...
Yeah. Oof.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, there's a new commercial for Burger King, and they show, one of their burgers, and it's growing moldy. Oh, it's like a time lapse. And they're like, we've taken out all the preservatives. And I was like, this is something you're proud of? Like, what the fuck?
See, I know
that...
There's nothing more annoying than fast food restaurants trying not to be what they are. It's like, we're going there for the shitty food. We're not going there because we're like, oh, do you guys have a non-preservative laden burger bun or whatever? Like, we're going there for that. That's the only reason I'm in here.
I want to go to McDonald's and get a healthy salad.
Exactly. No one wants that shit.
That's not why we go there. Yeah.
We want the beef tallow french fries. We want the weird looking fucking apple pie thing. We want all the fucking shitty stuff you have to offer. If I want healthy, I'll just either make it at home or go somewhere real.
But also, what an odd approach. I mean, that's not really an appealing visual. So how is that going to appeal to somebody's senses visually if I'm watching a commercial and I see the food that they're advertising to me growing mold? I don't know that that's going to make me say, oh, I can't wait to go get that.
You'd be surprised. I'm sure people are probably like, see, Burger King's good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people would.
Oh.
Well, they should do a time lapse of a burger not getting moldy next to one getting moldy. Because I don't know, Dave, if you remember, but the Howard Stern show had an actual McDonald's hamburger that they just left out for like 2-3 years.
Yeah, it didn't even grow. Yeah.
It didn't grow mold on it. It just stayed. It just got hard.
Yeah.
But it looked.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to it.
I remember that.
See, now that's a striking visual. You put the two side by side.
Yeah.
And the people are going to be more grossed out by the one that doesn't change. But if you just show it to us and see, it grows mold.
People will eat or drink anything. Like that one thing where they show like the penny that goes into like Diet Coke and the penny like disintegrates. People are like, yeah, whatever. I still want my Diet Coke. Like, it is not going to stop anybody.
I'm guilty. There are certain things that I put into my body that I'm just like, I know that this is so bad.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
You know, I think the goal is like, you got to pair those. You have them like every once in a while. You know?
Yeah.
If it's like an everyday thing, you could be in some trouble.
I've even said that to people as a coach. I'm unconventional in that way when it comes to drugs or anything. Anything that can be enjoyed, I support it as long as it's done in moderation.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe a couple things like maybe heroin. There's just
crystal meth. Crystal meth there.
Crystal meth and heroin are probably the drugs that you don't want to dabble with.
Yeah.
But whatever else you want to do,
get you through life.
I'm not going to be the coach who comes from some moral high ground and says, that you shouldn't do it. Listen, one of my greatest values in life is pleasure. You gotta do things that make you feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whether it's your black slushy or whatever. Anyway. Yeah.
So, Frank, tell us more about yourself. I know we found you, or at least I don't even remember who sent it to me originally, but your montage video on Instagram of you farting was just beyond epic.
Yeah, Matt Knife sent that to us, I believe.
Oh, he did?
I think.
Who was it?
I thought it was Matt Knife.
Oh, Matt. Yeah, Matt's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in that entire thing is when you fart on your cat.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get a lot of, I'm surprised I didn't get any shit about that.
I fart on my pets all the time.
I mean, come on. We're not harming them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they fart on us.
They fart on us.
My 92-pound pit bull loves my farts.
They do. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
They do. It's like they like them. Yeah, I know. So a little bit about me. I became a life coach after I got out of a boys' home. I was I've done some formal training, and I also have a background in performing arts, so I integrate some of that into my work. But probably the biggest thing that makes me unique as a coach and kind of my biggest teacher in life has been my own personal experiences. Ironically, after just having a conversation about drugs, drugs was one of the things that I struggled with. I don't consider myself, I have not committed myself to a life of sobriety. I support 12-step programs, just to put it out there. But no, I'm more of a moderation kind of guy and knowing yourself and knowing your limits. But yeah, so overcoming depression, anxiety, some of that stuff, and living in a bunch of boys' homes and rehabs and shelters and stuff when I was a teen, kind of brought me to learning about leadership and wanting to pay it forward. And then a little bit later on, I decided, after my undergrad, that I wanted to help other people. I always envisioned it happening later, like in my 50s. And then because 20 years ago, I don't know if a life coach existed. I think if you helped people, you were a social worker or you were a psychologist. And this whole life coach thing kind of got hot in the last 10 years. And I was like, so I don't have to wait. I can start now.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's it. Yeah, and I became a coach for men.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And what do your clients like? Do they come to you for everything from, like, I don't know if it's like weight loss or if it's just personality, like trying to get themselves happier?
Yeah. So I kind of market myself in a way where I want people to come to me to work on their confidence and their self-worth, and also another big thing that I focus on is masculinity. It's like a bad word today. And I don't think it has to be. I think that there's such a thing as really healthy masculinity, and I think that there's a great value in exploring and embracing our masculinity. So I outwardly talk about that, and I have guys coming to me because they want to develop, a masculinity that perhaps stayed dormant because it was never nurtured or whatever the reason is, and I help them with that.
That's awesome.
So not so much the I want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days kind of coach. I can do that. I mean, it's very kind of like formulaic, it's like, okay, we'll put you on a diet. And I do help people with kind of those things too, and just putting structure in their life and accountability. But yeah, my biggest focus is self-worth, confidence.
That's great.
For men. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yay. So now that we know what you do, let's go into your poo.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Should we just start off with the questions, or do you want to start off with anything?
Oh,
story-wise?
I have a fucking list.
Oh, yes.
That was like I listened to your episodes, and I was like, I have so many fun things that I want to talk about.
This is amazing. I love organized notes, so this is perfect.
It's so coachy of me.
No, we have so many guests who come on with notes. We love it.
Oh, really?
It makes things go smoother.
Yes.
Cool. So, okay, well, you know what? Since we were on it, the topic of like coaching, I kind of thought, I was like, are they going to ask me how farting or shit, correlates, or if it does with the work that I do? And I just finished writing a book on masculinity, and farting actually comes up in the book.
How could it not?
I looked up, I did a word search, and I think I said fart twice. I was surprised it wasn't more. One of them was just like a reference because I said, you're going to look like you're squeezing and holding back a fart. But the other one was a very specific link to how farting can actually be linked to virility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I think it can be. I think that... So I reached out to some friends and family whose opinions I respect, and I asked them, what attributes in a man strike you as a testament of virility? And I kind of like took a poll, and then I thought about my own thoughts on it, and I did some research online, and combined together, I came up with a list of things that I thought would be relevant to the book and to share with guys. One of those things was zest, like a zest for life, just kind of like this enthusiasm and excitement about life. And I was like, this is interesting. I want to learn more about it. And zest is kind of, it's rooted in courage. It takes courage for us to outwardly express that excitement. And then I had this whole conversation with a buddy of mine of ways that zest can manifest in a person and be expressed. So a few of them were like singing loudly in the shower, but like at the gym. Like, so you don't care who hears you. You're just having fun, letting out like a boisterous belly laugh, and not worrying about, who's going to judge you as being obnoxious. And then another one we both completely agreed on was punctuating a thought with like a perfectly timed, impressive fart and making everybody in the room laugh. And we both agreed that it's just like, it kind of says, I approach life with enthusiasm, and most of all, I'm fun.
Oh, yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. You guys agree?
I agree.
I completely agree.
Yes.
I think farting is fun and funny.
That was the punctuation mark.
I was distracted by the fart noise.
No, I said I think farting is fun and funny. So
yes, agreed.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually gotten to the point where I have encouraged men or clients to fart. I don't know. Maybe one day I will. But I do see how it could totally be linked to some of the work that I do. And I was just like, these guys are going to love this. I can't wait to share this.
That's amazing.
But since you mentioned that video that I made, I will say this is another way that I think farting kind of can be a positive, uplifting thing.
And you said in the video you did it because you were like upping your protein shakes or something.
Yeah, I was bulking.
And then you realized you got gassy.
Got farty.
Yeah. It just, that's such a British, I got farty.
Farty.
I was bulking, and it depends on what I eat. I mean, for me, it's like the second night in a row thing that gets me. I don't know about you guys, but if I eat Brussels sprouts or something gassy one night, I might just fart a couple times that night. But if I have my leftovers the second night, or even something else that happens to be gassy the second night, like the next 3 days, it's like an orchestra. Yeah. So anyway, that was the case with the bulking. I remember my trainer asked me. He said, it was very like candid about it. He's like, so how is like the farting and shitting been? Because he had me upping my calories, and I was like, you know what? I was like, honestly, not bad. I was like, I have no complaints. He's like, okay, good. But the next week, I was like, it's been a shit show. Like,
it's like noticeable.
And figuratively. I was like, it's been a shit show, and it has been pure entertainment. And that's when I got the idea that the world needed to experience it and hear about it. So I shared, but oddly enough, I'm only bringing this. I put this in my notes because of something you guys said in an episode about fart suppression. Yeah,
yeah, that's a thing.
So, I grew up. I mean, my dad was a farter. I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey, so like blue collar guys, they're mostly farters. But I didn't have any brothers, and I wasn't close with any male cousins. I didn't have any granddads, and also I only have one uncle I didn't see a lot. So a lot of the connections I made when I was younger was with my two sisters, female cousins, my grandmas, and like women. And I don't know where it happened along the way, but I think I must have been shamed at some point as a little boy for probably just like accidentally like sneezing or coughing and laughing and farting at the same time, or you move a certain way, you accidentally fart. And then maybe I was shamed for it because I remember growing up thinking like, oh yeah, no, I only want to do that in private. And it carries on into adulthood.
Completely.
Totally.
Yeah. So this for me, it's funny because a lot of people who met me afterward thought that I was going to be like farting and just like obnoxious guy to be around. And I was like, believe it or not, like that's not the guy. That's not entirely who I am. I mean, it's part of me, but me doing that was kind of like a way of saying like, I don't give a fuck, like metaphorically, like ripping my shirt off and saying, this is me. And I feel liberated. And it kind of was fucking freeing. Like,
completely.
I felt amazing. And then sharing it was the most important part. So, yeah.
Completely.
One of my favorite things, like when you get older, like, you kind of carry a lot of that, like, fart suppression around certain people or groups of people when you get older. Like, I don't want to, like, embarrass myself or... Yeah. That's why I was for a while. And then we all rented a house, like, up in the Catskills. And a friend of mine, she just like was sitting on the edge of her chair, and she just let out the biggest fart, and she was laughing so hard. Then it was like okay, cool, we can all fart now. Like it was like just like a sort of like an announcement. And I just remember I could not stop. The look on her face, it was just like there was no shame at all. It was like she's like I'm on vacation, fuck it. So I do, I did. There is some kind of like like sort of like, oh okay, I'm kind of coming out who I am. I'm having fun. And I don't give a shit if anybody thinks about it. And it's something that you don't really think about, or I haven't done at least since I was a kid. Like I feel like when I was younger with my friends, I used to do it all the time. Never thought about it. But then when you get older, you're kind of like, maybe I shouldn't be farting in front of this person. I don't know. Like it's just and like laughing about it. You just kind of like, there is a stigma attached to it, I guess, when you get to a certain age.
It's like a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be fart shamed. Like this, I don't want people to know. People know that I do it, but I mean, then they're gonna. It's like checking our breath. Before we leave, well, maybe not now, but but when we did leave, it was like, checking our breath or checking, if we have food in our teeth or a huge, booger in our nose or something like that. Is that farting probably was somewhere along the same lines as that. But the reality is that all those things are human. It happens to every single one of us. We all pick our nose when nobody's watching. We all fart.
We're all disgusting.
We are all disgusting.
Exactly. Everyone's the same.
We are all disgusting, and there's confidence in being able to embrace that. And come on, there's a time and a place, but on vacation, that is the time and the place. And she put her money into that Airbnb or wherever you guys were staying, and she was like, "Fuck it."
It was hilarious.
Here, and I'm on vacation. Yeah.
I think farting is like on the same level as fashion and hygiene. So, like, listen to my analogy. Like,
I can't wait.
Fashion, meaning not like being fashionable, but there are certain events you go to where you can wear t-shirt and jeans, and then there's certain events you have to go to, like a wedding, where you have to be wearing a proper suit or a proper dress. And so that's how farting is. Like, when you're going to the wedding, you can't fart out loud, but when you go to the baseball game in your t-shirt and jeans, it's okay to rip one. Like, it's fine. So that's where I'm saying, like, but then it's also like a hygiene thing where a lot of people are grossed out with farts because they think of poop and it's hygiene. Like how you were talking about picking your nose, something in your teeth, your breath stinking, you know, like, and so that correlates too. But then at the same time, farting is, and as we've interviewed so many people on this podcast, it is so healthy. It shows a healthy gut. Yeah. So I think like the fart suppression is also tied in with all that. But we need to like be away with it. I mean, and especially during COVID, it's more gross to cough than fart these days. So yeah.
I'd much rather take a fart at this point.
Somebody posted a meme a couple months ago when all of this was starting and said, once upon a time we used to cough to cover a fart. Now you'd be better off farting to cover a cough. Exactly. And I was just like, that's great. It's so true.
Pretty much.
But yeah, dress code and hygiene is that I see now your analogy and I see how they align. You're absolutely right.
It's like pick your spot.
Events, like you shouldn't be farting at Thanksgiving dinner, but afterwards when you're sitting around watching TV, it's totally fine.
You know what's interesting though, and I've been thinking about you guys for a few days now, and I thought to myself, I was literally in bed last night or the night before, and I was pondering this, and I thought, would I want a world or a society where farting was completely acceptable? And as much as I thought to myself, how cool would it be to get to know one another more intimately, I realized it would actually take away what I find funny and fun and intimate about farting. Because if everybody was able to do it, it would... See, what you said just now about farting at the Thanksgiving dinner, it's probably not appropriate, but how funny would it be then if you and your brother or sister did? Like, it may only be funny to you too, right? But it's kind of just like, that's part of it. That, like, the universally funny thing about it is like the fart at the funeral.
You don't want to go, you don't want to go mainstream. You want to be a little underground still.
Exactly.
I love taboos. I love anything that said. I mean, if farting stopped being funny to me, it would suck. I completely agree. But I do think that there's a time, like if you're meeting your significant other's parents for the first time, you shouldn't be ripping farts at the dinner table.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But once you guys have like hung out a bunch and you stayed at their parents' house for a whole weekend and you let one fly, you could all laugh.
Oh my God. I still would never fart in front of my mother-in-law. I'm like, how's it going, guys? Oh my God. I mean, if she did that, I would probably pass out from laughing, just because I know she gets so like wound up about it. But I don't think I handle that in front of her.
What about on dating? What is the date, the number date that it would be okay?
I mean, for me, I waited like a long time. I feel like I was like cramping up from just holding it in when we first started dating. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I figured after the first couple times to sleep over. You know,
I think the first sleepover.
Yeah, like after that, you're just like, look, we just did some stuff. So We're all pretty comfortable with each other.
If you want to sleep next to me, that means there's snoring and all kinds of disgusting things that can possibly happen. I kind of feel like first sleepover, it's like, listen, all bets are off. Like, you're going to see what I look like when I wake up.
Yep. Morning breath.
Morning breath. Yeah, like all of that.
Yep.
You know, it's, yeah.
It's like the whole bag.
As a woman who's an open farter, but and I've been with my partner over 9 years, so this is a long time. But when I used to be in the dating pool, I would wait until the guy farted first.
Okay.
Because for me, as being a dainty little lady, I have to have like some kind of allure. But as soon as they fart, I'm like, all bets are off. Floodgates are open. It is on.
You're like,
have you ever had a guy respond like, what the fuck? Wait, no. I'm allowed to do that, but you cannot.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. Well, not still, but for probably the first almost 5 years we were dating. Living together. Like, and mind you, the first fart that happened was the third time we were having sex. He ripped ass so loud that it was like an extra thrust. And I was like, floodgates are open, motherfucker. You did it during sex. It's done.
Yeah, he can't return from that. I mean, listen. And was it accidental or intentional?
Yeah.
He says it was accidental, but it was because he was holding it in all day. I'm like, then just go to the bathroom and let it out, especially before you're going to have sex.
He had to take care of business.
I've done it intentionally during sex.
Well, that's hilarious.
Well, that's why I thought it was funny. I'm weird, though. I'm one of those people who I like lights on. I want to be connected and real, so it could be passionate and fun, but then we could take a break to laugh about something. And when I say break, I mean 4 seconds, and then get right back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that could totally be one of those moments, depending on who you're with. Yeah. I've got a few giggles here and there. I've never had anybody, kick me out.
Well, it's a true litmus test.
Right.
If they have a good sense of humor.
Right. Especially then.
Yeah.
I don't know. If
some people would wait till right after. But during was like, I felt really ballsy.
As long as they're not going down on you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
No way.
That.
I don't think I've ever farted during sex. I'm pretty sure I've never done that before. But yeah,
that's really funny though to think about. That's like in line with like Howard Stern's favorite word, Blumpkin. It's like one step before.
Oh my god, yeah. We're dying to interview somebody who's into Blumpkins on the show.
Who's into them?
Yeah.
Giving them or receiving them or
either
what?
Or. I just want to hear a real story of somebody who's like excited.
Hey, baby, taking a shit. You want to blow me?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I could kind of see the appeal, but it's pretty.
That's pretty wild, man.
It's kind of.
I mean, that's
intimate. Is intimate the right word?
I don't. Whatever.
Sex and poop are like church and state. Keep them fucking separate.
Oh, that's funny.
Because you're also thinking.
I guess I wouldn't eat a steak in a church. Where did you come up with that?
State. Church and state. Not state.
Oh, church and state.
I did a steak in church.
Church and state kind of works too. But I was just like, wow, she's really creative.
Frankie's just sitting there with a T-bone, like just like, continue.
For a moment, I did. I was just like, I guess I wouldn't eat a steak.
You're like, this béarnaise sauce is lovely.
Or like in the middle of being at home and eating a steak, I wouldn't think about, I don't know. Anyway, that was good. Sex and poop. It's funny because they're oddly linked. But yeah, I mean, depending on what kind of sex pooping you like to do.
I'm square as fuck. I'm like, keep that. Yeah, exactly. I'm with just keep that shit over there.
Yeah. No, but I have been known to open the bathroom door and walk in on partners just because it's kind of like, I just want to kind of be like, hey, I see you.
Peek behind the curtain.
And then have a conversation and
see how the sausage is made.
And then you get to a point where doors can kind of stay open.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Should we ask some questions then?
Yeah.
And we'll mix them with the notes?
Frank, what's your favorite brand of toilet paper? And you put it on the roll over or under?
I am not a fan of toilet paper. I like wipes, but when I do put toilet paper on, it's the over. Yeah. I had a friend once who said that under was just like her OCD would go nuts. Like she would change people's toilet paper and flip it around. You too? Yeah.
Ellen does that dick move.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me that much. In fact, I probably didn't notice it until she said that to me, and now I notice it every time. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of toilet paper. I like the wipes.
Yeah, wipes are great, except for depending on what brand wipes you're buying. Some of the chemicals on it are very bad for your hiney hole.
Oh, well, you should tell me that, because I like dude wipes and ass wipes.
Yeah.
Which I recently discovered.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'd have to look at them.
Okay.
I've never bought dude wipes, but you should then just get a bidet.
I have one of those like handheld, like, spray your dishes kind of joints that you can put on the toilet. Yeah. When I got it when I got back from, was it the first time I went to Europe? Yes. Yeah. When I turned 30, I went to Europe. I went to Italy, and it was the first time I had been in Europe, and it was my first experience with bidet. I was in every hotel that I stayed in, had one, and obviously I figured out what it was. Initially, I was like, "Oh, there's a second toilet. That's interesting." and then it kind of clicked in, and I was like, "Well, of course I'm going to try it." It was a little strange at first, but then, I mean, and just to be completely transparent, I was shitting like sixes. Yeah, because because I mean, it was just constant like espressos and greasy food and like breakfast. They don't do a standard like eggs and bacon American breakfast. We're talking like croissants and a coffee.
Really rich.
Yeah, and I wasn't a coffee drinker then. So if you think coffee goes through you when you are a coffee drinker, when you're not, it's like taking a what's it called, a laxative. Yeah. So anyway, I was using that thing regularly, and when I got home, I was like, I really miss it. I was like, this was a game changer.
It is.
Like, I mean, I felt so, I don't know, refreshed
confidence.
Afterward.
You feel confident. You feel assured. You're like, yes,
like
I take on the day.
Yeah, like it was nice. I was like, man. I was like, why is this not a thing? Why is this not a thing? And I was in the U.S. and then
it is in most cultures.
It is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I started Googling, and I found one, and I was like, no fucking shit. I was like, you can actually attach it to your toilet. So I got it. It's cold water, which is, it's all right. And I use it sometimes, but then sometimes water sprays everywhere. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have it, but most of the time my default is my wipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like my wipes. Yeah.
And do you sit or stand to wipe your butt?
Oh, sit. There's a lot back there. If I stand up, then everything squeezes together. I mean, I would have to stand up and like bend over. Like, I could do that. Then I might fall over though. Man, no, definitely. I have to remain sitting. Anybody with a lot going on back there knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And, sitting, spreads it open, and then you stand up, and it's like a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, your response is the one that most people like, come back with. They're like, what? Or we get like, who stands?
Yeah.
And we've had two people, I think, that have two or
really?
three maybe. Yeah.
Stand?
Yeah. Or they do some kind of combo of the two. Which is, obviously very foreign to a lot of people, but for them it works.
Is.
And I was just kind of like, that doesn't work for me.
When did they learn that? I guess as a baby. I don't know. It's odd. Odd to me. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. No judgments, but it's strange. Yeah.
And what's your first memory as a kid of poops or farts?
Oh, that's a good one. First memory. I mean, I definitely remember shitting my pants a couple times. Even as early as when I had... Was it as early as when I was wearing diapers? No, maybe it was after I had stopped wearing diapers. There was something I remember one time, I have a vision right now, being in the driveway and shitting my pants and then having to go upstairs. And I think I had a babysitter at the time. Might have been a family member, but it wasn't my mom. May have been a babysitter. And they took me into the bathroom and we had to clean up. But I also remember the feeling. There was something satisfying about shitting in your pants. I guess that, the Freudian kind of like the stage transition of maybe from anal to I don't know what that age is, but I know it kind of varies per person if you believe in it. But yeah, I remember I was right in the middle of that transition, and I remember after going in my pants, there was a feeling of just like that felt good. I mean, it's disgusting, but I kind of remember. I'm gonna get really nasty now, but I kind of remember the warmth of it, and there was something satisfying about that. But yeah, I guess the kind of the shaming or the negative after effects that you get from parents or other people was enough to not want to continue doing it.
Oh yeah.
I wonder though if that didn't happen, if we would just shit our pants. I don't know. How long would we keep shitting our pants?
I don't know, because I feel like as babies, it must be like really cathartic to be able to shit your pants and know somebody's right there to clean you up, But then at the same time, as a baby, if you shit your pants and the person isn't there and you have to just stew in it, it must be really upsetting, after it cools off,
Yeah.
But
It's like relief, then utter guilt and shame right after. You're like, oh my God, I've made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, that's what comes in. It's the guilt and the shame, the discomfort. I mean, maybe, but most babies, it's not until a while passes that they start getting really upset. Like, hey, you changed my diaper. Yeah. You don't usually get notified by the child. It's usually you have to check, and it's like, aren't you uncomfortable? Yeah, and that's why I think for us, like, if we were able to. Maybe we would eventually figure it out. Like, hey, you know what? It's probably easier if we just shit into a hole and pull our pants down to do it. But I wonder how long it would actually take us to put that together.
Well, we just interviewed somebody who's having trouble potty training her 2.5-year-old. And so it makes you even think that at that stage when you're potty training, you prefer to shit in your diaper. You're like, fuck that, I don't want to go potty, I have freedom here. You're going to clean me up regardless.
It's cathartic.
Yeah.
It's cathartic. It's kind of just like, I could be anywhere.
I mean,
I could be anywhere and just shit.
Yeah.
You could be talking to somebody at the bar and then be like, what are you doing?
You see my pants. Yeah. You kind of make it strange.
My babysitter will be here to clean me up soon.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point, if the governor was just off and you could just do whatever you want, shit in your pants until however old you are, I think at some point you'd be like, okay, I'm tired of going through underwear and pants. And the smell. The smell factor for me is the number one thing, obviously, because you're just like, okay, I can't walk around with my underwear choked up with shit, and then people are gonna be like, oh, there's that smelly motherfucker coming down the street again.
But that's the shame and guilt thing.
Yeah.
I think the one part that would be different would be what you said about throwing out the practicality element. Yeah. How many pairs of underwear am I going to throw out? And cleaning up can be a bit of a mess, and then having to change or whatever, that you'd probably eventually deduce that deduce. It's a good word
deduce.
Right now. Deduce that your deuce would be better if taken
better cleaned.
Yeah, right, exactly. If taken outside of your drawers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What is your best cure for diarrhea or constipation?
I got two. So, old school Imodium, I think, is good, and clay.
Oh, it's clay.
What the hell is it called? It's this stuff is good too. It's supposed to be really, really cleansing for you. It's in my cabinet.
Is it like
you
a
have to make sure
drink
that
mix?
you get the food grade one, so you're not just eating clay. But
that pottery class.
Detox powder. Here it is. All natural calcium bentonite clay.
Huh.
Oh.
I'll show it to you.
Wow.
I haven't
You
heard
can
of
see
this.
it, even though the people listening won't be able to see. But yeah, that's it.
Detox powder.
It tastes
Interesting.
like dirt. It does. It tastes like clay. But if you mix it with something that, that isn't just water and has some flavor to it,
Right.
then you can, you won't taste it as much. But if you just do like 1 or 2 teaspoons of this, it bulks you up. But it doesn't work like a bulking fiber. Because bulking fiber bulks you up too, but it also makes you go.
Yeah.
This just bulks you up.
So that's good for diarrhea.
Yeah,
Detox
and I learned
powder.
about this actually
Clay.
when I was bulking, because when you're bulking and you're doing a lot of high protein before your body gets used to it, that's what's happening. Is you're shitting like sevens, like several times a day, to the point where it's like it's starting to hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was helpful.
Where did you buy it?
I got it on Amazon.
Huh.
I find it more. What's the word I want to use? Just more manageable than something like Imodium. Because Imodium, if you fuck around, then you're going to be a 1 if you go too far. Yeah, because it says like take 2, and then with every time you have a loose shit after that, take another one. Yeah, don't follow those instructions, because then you'll take 4 in like a 2-hour period. Next thing you know, you're not going to shit for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
And what about
this stuff is good.
constipation?
That doesn't happen.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't have that
Lucky.
problem. I don't know. I guess I'd eat a salad or a plate of spinach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some roughage.
Yeah. I don't have that problem.
What products do you use that you love that helped you with pooping? Everything from supplements, wipes,
Hold on.
room spray. You told us about the wipes and your clay, but is there anything else?
So yeah, but then I have to go back because I just realized I gave you inaccurate information. I have been constipated. But this one. Oh yeah. So the spray. I have this Eat Sleep Poop spray that's in my bathroom. It just says Eat Sleep Poop on it. I like it. It has a bunch of little poop emojis, and the background is a pattern. So I use that. What else do I use? What else do I have? Another product that I bought. I found also on Amazon. Poop Like a Champion cereal.
Oh,
Whoa, what's that?
Yeah, and the packaging is great because it literally, it's everything that you'd ever want, that you can imagine with a name like Poop Like a Champion. Yeah, you got to write it down.
I
Look it up.
have got to look this up.
Is it like colon, the SNL skit Colon Blow?
It's a bit like that, and maybe that was how I found it. Is that I looked up Colon Blow and I found this, but this is the real deal. It's actually a cereal, and it's just super high fiber. And when I was done with it, I cut out the label and I put it. I just taped it or glued it to a tissue box in the bathroom because I just thought it was so great. But yeah, Poop Like a Champion.
Oh my God, Ellen!
Yeah.
She's definitely going to be reporting back on that. I can already see that order.
Her face, she's lit up.
It's already in her basket.
Yeah. Well, I saw that the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to tell them about this." Because I don't know anybody else who's heard of it. So,
I've never
heard of it.
Poop Like a Champion
cereal.
Check it out.
Cereal.
The
Oh
only
my
thing I've
God.
heard
You're
on
welcome.
Amazon that's poop related is those sugar-free gummy bears.
Oh yeah, that'll just give you diarrhea.
Yeah, and Dave and I have to do a mini-sode or something where we just read the reviews of the sugar-free gummy bears and everybody exploding.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
This must be hilarious.
I just typed in Poop Like a Champion, and it came up on on Amazon. Poop Like a Champion Ultra Fiber Cereal, and it's
you should read the reviews on that.
This is hilarious. Hold on.
I want to know if it's gluten-free.
Oh, I hope so, because otherwise
I hope
you won't be able to eat it.
Oh my God, there's over 1,000 reviews.
Whoa.
It works for me. I want to hear the 1-star though. I did not poop like a champ. Gross.
I did not. That would be me. That would be me. You know it would be me.
Basically a travel-sized box. Nope. Tastes like cardboard.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't taste great. Yeah, but it definitely made me poop like a champion.
Kimberly K writes, no poop here.
There's Poop Like a Champion gummies.
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those might be gluten free.
Yeah.
One guy named Jack just wrote, just burn your $12 instead.
No, Poop Like a Champion cereal is gluten-free, high fiber.
You got to get it.
Oh my God, I'm getting it. What's in it? Is it just like psyllium husk made into cereal?
Maybe inulin or something like that.
These reviews are the best. Poo-poo flavored garbage. may not be healthy. Do not buy.
They're like all negative reviews.
Oh yeah, I had the negative reviews. I had to read first because they were just like, I mean, this is just so fucking funny.
Oh my God, I have got to get this.
Oh my God,
and I want
star.
the gummies too.
I didn't know they had gummies. I might have to try those next. I would be skeptical about the gummies just because I would worry that they might use something like those artificial sweeteners, which will give you gas and diarrhea. But the cereal definitely is. It's all fiber.
I'll have to try it out.
It says for the gummies, it's sugar-free. We do not use maltol or polydextrin. We also don't use sugar. Our gummies are sweetened with xylitol and natural sweetener that tastes like sugar, but it's very low glycemic.
Well, then what's in them?
I don't know. I can't find ingredients.
I think xylitol is just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't fuck with those. I mean, you can, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, on this poop podcast, we should be fucking with everything that's a poop like a champion.
Anything that's poop related. Well, definitely get the cereal.
Well, I'm going to try. One person just wrote "fart like a champion."
That too.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
This is we got to try this. Oh my God!
Also, when hilarious. I googled "poop like a champion," I found a hot sauce called Professor Fart Pounders colon cleaner hot sauce.
Oh my God, that sounds pretty bad.
I'm a little intimidated by that because that could be that sounds painful. Yeah.
That does sound painful. Oh,
I don't want it burning on the way out. Nah, I'm good.
I don't need pain, but
I did that once talking about shishito peppers. I went us out to dinner a couple years ago. We ordered shishito peppers, and I ate one that was so spicy. My entire face, I was bright red, crying hysterically. And I was like, oh my God. And the asshole that I am, because we were at a nice restaurant, I swallowed it. I should have spit it out.
Oh, man.
But the next day, when it came out the other end, was just as evil as when it was on my tongue. And I was like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
You suffered twice. Yeah. Yes. That's why I was just like, you know what? I'm not going beyond jalapenos. Those. That's as bold and spicy as I go these days. Yeah.
Boy. You were going to go back to constipation.
Yeah. Because I realized I had a good story. It was funny because whenever I travel, I'm a 1 or a 7, and there's no in between.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about. If it's the home throne kind of state of mind, where it's literally. I have had so many days where I've been walking up my stairs to enter, and it's literally I can feel it moving through my body, and then it's poking. And I'm just it knows I'm home, but it also knows when I'm not home because then it hides. It hides, and then I'll do whatever I need to do to get it moving. And then it's just the floodgates have opened and it's the complete fucking opposite. It's funny though, because my instinctive response to you was, no, I don't deal with constipation. And when I'm home, I don't. When I'm home, it's not an issue. But traveling, it is an issue. And I have a story.
Yes.
You're going to like this one.
Yes.
So I was in Cancun, and I hadn't gone yet, and I had been there a couple days. And when in Mexico, I mean, come on, eat.
The best food.
Besides being unbelievably rich with amazing culture, part of that is the food.
Completely.
So, yeah, and if anything, it should get things moving. But I was eating and eating and eating, so I was feeling bloated and full, but nothing was happening. And then, when it did, this is not a shit your pants story, but when it did happen, it was probably a 2. It was probably a 3, and it was probably it was probably 1.5 feet long. And a 3, not a foot long and a 4. like the skinny snake. I'm talking like this thing looked like it could have had a heartbeat. Like it was like a horror movie. So this is. I don't usually get embarrassed, but I don't know if I've ever told this story before.
Until now.
This is the perfect place to let it out.
Yeah, man.
I did not flush it.
You had to let someone see that.
Speaking of like this conversation of virility, it's funny because men are often, I think we're often proud of some of the strangest things. And I think maybe even women, probably at times, maybe it's not a guy thing, maybe it's just a human thing. But I think that there are probably times where when we produce something really large, there is this kind of primal side of us that's proud of it.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, most of us are probably way too refined to ever share it. But then there's a few of us who will be like, some guys will even fucking take a picture of it and send it to a buddy. But then there's others who will obviously leave it and, for somebody else to see. But this happened in the evening, and I was hanging out at the bar in the resort, and I went back to take a piss, like, I don't know, a half hour had passed. And I know that people had gone to the bathroom and seen it and had not flushed it. And one of the times that I went back in there, I got to witness two people seeing it. And they lost it. They were cracking, but like, they actually like had a bonding moment over it because they were like, yo, dude, come look at this. And they had a moment over it, and they were admiring it.
They were saluting it.
And I could have owned it at that point. That would have been really fucking bold if I was like, yeah, like that was me. I wasn't feeling that courageous, but there was this part of me that was kind of just like, you're a sick motherfucker. I did not think I would ever share that story, but coming into this, I was like, I kind of have to.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, imagine if you did tell them you're walking out of the bathroom, the whole resort's just like...
I would have...
Bravo.
I deserved an applause. For that one. So... I have to turn the question to you, though. Have either of you guys ever left like a museum exhibit, for others to see?
I mean, I'm sure I have. I don't know if I've ever had one that's been so long where I've been like, holy shit, like I'm just going to leave it. You know what? If I have done that, it's probably just because the toilet was broken. I just didn't flush it.
That doesn't count. Okay, no, you have an out then because it's like, okay, it's not flushed.
I don't think I've ever flushed, like left something for anybody to see.
Left it because you were proud of it. Yeah, I kind of want someone else to see this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that before.
All right,
I'm pretty sure that's probably so.
Validated.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't big enough. If it was like yours, then maybe.
What about you?
Yeah, same. I know I've talked about this in the past. We had our friend Keith on the show, and one of us pooped in a broken toilet, and the other one followed up. And I can't remember who pooped on whose poop, but we found out later that day that we now coined it the double dragon. When you shit on somebody else's shit, it's double dragon. And so, yes, I didn't leave it for him to see, but he saw it, and we saw each other's poop join forces in a broken toilet. But I am one of those people who's if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. And so sometimes I just forget to flush my brown down because I'm so used to letting my yellow mellow. So
I got you. Okay. I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
If I'm on the phone and I have to shit, not on FaceTime, I will not flush because I'm talking and I don't want the person to hear that I'm taking a shit. And then my partner will go into the bathroom. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, I've been on the phone. Leave me alone.
That is funny. Okay, so it's not quite the same intention. It's not. Yeah. But you have kind of indirectly shared with your partner. All right.
And with these massive Bristol 4s that I've produced, there are times I want to take a picture to send to Dave, but then I know Dave will get really mad at me.
Oh,
I won't
Dave,
get
you
mad.
would?
I wouldn't get mad at her, but I'd be like, "Why is she sending me this?"
He would get mad. He
but
would
you
get
know
mad.
why.
No, I know,
You
I know, I know why. I just like, it's just like, yes, we have a show about farting and pooping, but I don't want to see it. Like, you know, it's just like I don't need to see it. I mean, look, if it's something like Ellen, I'll give you this pass. If it's something that's like, just, I mean, like
Monumental?
Guinness Book of World Records,
Monumental.
yeah, then yes, please send it along. But it's
All
got to
right.
be like, I mean, we're talking like award-winning.
Like
You
the
know.
one that I did
Yes.
was award winning.
It's gotta be something that's just
it was
like-
monumental.
Floodgates.
Mind blowing. But when you
Floodgates open.
before you send it to me, ask me, is this really worth sending?
Oh, I will only do it when it's a
Okay.
full on,
All right.
like, gets a 10
Fair enough.
by all the judges.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this
10.
this one was a 10, and I don't think I've done it. I can't really think of any other time that I've done it. I think that might have been the only time, and never talked about it publicly, but I know I told a couple people about it.
Yeah.
And I have a couple guy friends who have affirmed that they've done the same thing before, and I felt kind of validated. I was like, okay, all right, I'm not that weird. One of them even said that they go as far as to throw the shitty paper in the garbage because they don't want to.
They don't want to.
They don't want to mess with the artwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they want it to be nicely framed.
They want to be like
by
a
the
clean
toilet.
presentation.
Yeah.
We
And I
had,
was
a,
like,
we had a guest on the show, Bob, and he has an Instagram called The Greatest Shit, spelled with a Z, and he takes pictures of his poop in the bowl and then makes it into an album cover.
I heard you talking.
They're
about
amazing.
This. I don't remember which
Episode?
I don't remember who you were talking to, but I lost it when I heard you say that, and then especially like the name is just so
Oh, yeah.
brilliant. The greatest shit.
Bob is a funny
I'll send
dude.
you his Instagram.
I will follow.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I will follow.
So he's like, and he has strict rules. Like, you can submit a photo, but no toilet paper can be in the bowl. He
Oh.
prefers the poo-poos to like have like a shape that's very interesting. Like, it can't just be like poop. It has to be
Interesting.
like, it has to really have
It's
an
got to have some kind of
artistic
competition or so composition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, in order for it to be the greatest shits, it should. I mean,
Exactly.
you have a greatest hits album. It's not going to be like
Exactly.
Subpar.
every radio hit. It
Completely.
has to be special. Yeah,
Exactly.
greatest shits. I love it.
So we're at our favorite question, Frank. If you have to go Bristol 7, it's coming out fast and furious. And there's zero toilet in sight. Do you shit in your pants or do you go someplace on the floor, aka the ground?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer. It's the latter.
On the floor?
Yeah.
Have you
definitely.
done that?
All right, give me a second. Let me have I ever
You're like
shit
Cancun 2003.
on the floor somewhere? I mean, I've shit outside. Have I ever
That's
shit
okay.
on the
That's
floor?
that's the floor or ground.
Oh,
Anywhere
well then, yeah. I
where
mean,
it's
you
not
know,
the toilet.
going camping, but like this scenario that you're describing, like
Well, have you
at
pooped your
home.
pants?
I like to preface by saying,
No.
like, if it was like you're on the subway or like you're just out and about somewhere and you can't get to a toilet and you're like, oh my God.
I mean, I must have really good control because I have had a couple scenarios that I think when I was listening to Matt's podcast that he did with you guys, Matt Knight, I love him. He told some great stories. And it's funny because I thought to myself, I've been there, but I think maybe some of us have stronger, I don't know, like
Sphincter muscles?
Yeah.
maybe, because I can tell you right now, I can vividly remember a time I was a fucking waiter. I was standing in front of two people at a table, and it just came like a wave of,
Oh no.
I don't know what to call it, but it was like sweating and like literally, yes, it was all of that. It was the stomach. I was bearing down, like the opposite of bearing down, I guess, which is gripping, with every bit of my worth, while I was standing in front of a table listening to what they were ordering. I mean, I was holding my breath. Anyway, I made it to the bathroom, and I was, Yeah, I was taking their order, and I remembered that because I was like, that totally could have been that could have been a shit your pants scenario.
That would have been horrible. While you're doing that.
And that would have been not that there's any good time to shit your pants. Well, actually, I take that back. Matt had a great time to shit his pants. Like, I mean, if there was an optimal time to do it, like Matt nailed it. But
when you're close to home.
No, in home. Like literally, you shut the door, and it was like, you know.
Yeah. I think serving food is the wrong time to shit your pants.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
It's not a good time. I mean, there's probably worse times, like giving a speech, you know, something like that. There probably can be worse times, but that's the closest I've ever been to what you're talking about. I don't think I can't think of a time I've shit on the floor in urgency. When I was a kid, I probably shit on the floor just because I was an asshole. like I had a friend who did that too. She was so proud of herself. She told me like one of the funniest things she remembers as a kid is in high school, she took a shit next to the toilet. And I just looked at her and I was like, why? And she started cracking up. She's like, because it's funny. and I thought about the visual when I walked into a bathroom and saw like shit next to a toilet. It's obviously deliberate.
Where did she do this? Like in a public toilet?
In her high school.
In the high school? That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it is funny. And I thought about it afterwards. I was like, it's such a simple thing to come up with, but it really is funny. Because it really does. It kind of says "fuck you."
Oh, complete big fuck you.
It's a big fuck you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
have either of you guys seen the latest season of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have.
Oh, there's an episode where there's a waitress who's like, "I'm sorry, I have really bad diarrhea." And she tells the whole table, and she's like sweating profusely, and they're all like, well, "We can't eat now."
Yeah, it was good.
That's great. I have to look that up. Where someone said it to me. Yeah.
Well, real quick,
really
to follow up to your waiter story, do you remember like after you took the order, did you run back and just like unload? I mean, you must have like.
Luckily, it's funny because they were near the bathroom. I can't remember what the exact scenario was. If I was heading to the bathroom, fucking hell. You know what? I think I was heading to the bathroom. And they stopped
Gotcha.
me.
There you go.
Because they needed to ask me something. So I was on my way and they interrupted me. And my job as a waiter is to stop. I mean, I suppose it would have been perfectly acceptable if I was just like, if I just waved them off. Because it would have been pretty clear, like, oh, he's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe that was the part of me that was kind of like the shameful, like, I don't want them to know that I'm like exploding at the seams. So I'm going to coolly work my way over to the table, hear what they have to say, and then walk super slow to the bathroom like I'm just fine. I'm going to take a leak. That's what I did. Took a lot of control.
Excellent.
A lot of control.
A lot of sphincter control.
Bless. We just have a couple more questions, but unless you, we don't have to ask them. They're not as exciting. But if you have any notes that went to anything, you're welcome to tell us.
Let's see. I talked about fart suppression, virility. I called it, my note here is the Cancun Museum log.
Your presentation.
The title was funny. Farting to liberate yourself. Yes, there's positivity in it. No, I covered everything. Oh, my fart sounds changed. I guess that was one thing that I noted. I was like, if there's something that I could share about farting or taking or shitting, what would it be? As I got older, I noticed my fart sounds changed. I mean, they're not always the same, but I think that, I mean, if you've been in a relationship with somebody, you probably could recognize their fart sound, like that they're pretty consistent. Mine definitely went from like motorbike to trumpet at some point in the last 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I went from motorbike to trumpet, and I'm thinking to myself, am I consciously pushing them out differently? Because that could happen too. It could be that
your technique's changed.
Maybe my technique has developed. Yeah.
What about exercise? Have you done more exercising in the past 5 years?
Yes.
Maybe I think it's exercising, because a fart, the noise of a fart happens because you have literally two sphincters next to each other. And when the gas is going out, one sphincter opens up while the other one shuts. So it's like a whoop, you know, and that's why so maybe your glute muscles are tightening around your fart.
You know what? That is so funny that I didn't piece that together. It's been in the last 5 years that I have worked my glutes more than I ever have. And I've been working with trainers, and I've been doing a lot of squatting and a lot of deadlifts, and my ass got big and muscular, and
your fart noise changed.
fucking funny. Yeah. And I never pieced it together. I thought it was like, we change as we get older. Our skin changes, all kinds of things change on us. Even our guts, like the way we digest food, like every 7 years or so, we go through changes. And I was just like, nobody talks about the fart sounds changing, but no, that totally makes sense. It's probably linked to the muscle development.
Yeah, because you're not just
funny.
building your glute muscles on the outside. You're probably building even your sphincter muscles on the inside because everything is, tightening up together.
Everything tightens up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm actually building the sphincter muscle or if the muscles on the outside tighten everything so that it squeezes them. But I might actually be developing my sphincter muscles too. I don't know. I would have to talk to my trainer and ask him.
Well, you have a Kegel in your butthole. It's not just Kegels aren't just for ladies and your wiener.
Yeah. And that's why I'm wondering. Like, I wonder if through doing squats and deadlifts, if there's any way that you are also working out that part of you. Like, that's a good way to sell it.
Yeah.
You should do squats and deadlifts because you won't have to worry about incontinence.
Exactly.
Well, for sure you're working on that because when I used to squat or lift with this, my coach, you are like strengthening all the area because like you have to kind of keep that when you're down like low with a big thing of weight on your back. Yeah, and, like you're constantly you're just like holding all you got your core engaged, all that stuff, and your pelvic floor. So that's probably like my guess would be probably what's happened. You've increased you've increased the strength down there, and it's kind of like now the air takes a little bit longer. It takes a different route, or not a route, but like it's just a little like
I hope
tighter.
that you start asking your guests who are bodybuilders or powerlifters if they notice now that we've shed some light on this, if they've noticed that the sound of their farts have changed once they started doing more deadlifts. I'm trying to
wonder
if my friends this.
Like I wonder if mine have. I feel like mine.
Yeah, we need to do a poll.
I feel
yeah. I mean, because again, it's all under the umbrella of things that we don't talk about, but also maybe because we don't pay attention to them, or maybe we don't pay attention to them because we shouldn't talk about them. One or the other. Yeah. But to give permission to it might make people think on it and be like, what? Now that you mention it, they have gotten louder. Yeah.
Nice.
That's so funny. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
It's all one big circle. We started off with you bulking up on your protein shakes to you farting out trumpet noises from your muscular butt.
Full circle. Full circle. I'll have to do another compilation. I have different, I have so many different edits of that. I have one of me farting 100 times over the instrumental of the Titanic.
That's pretty funny. Oh my God, it's awesome.
I think we should play the original one, just the sound as an Easter egg at the end of this episode.
The original,
yeah, do it. That would be great.
The Titanic song or the actual fart video?
The original video, the one we found Frank with.
Perfect. Yeah.
So that people could hear his opus.
Yes.
Yes.
His first symphony.
His first symphony. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
the farting life coach.
Well, then we should just go into our next segment, which is Let's Get Shitty. So we get to complain about things. They don't have to be fart or poop related, but so I'm just going to play this little intro and we'll get right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Let's Get Shitty.
So Frank, since you're our guest, if you get something you want to get off your chest, and again, it could be anything really. I mean, obviously, we know what's going on in the world with COVID and protesting and police brutality. Sure. Yes, these are kind of just long existing things that have just been out in the zeitgeist. But again, if you get something you want to complain about, please do, or we can come back to you if you don't want to, if you feel too on the spot.
I didn't have anything prepared for that, but I'm trying to think. I don't want to complain about the obvious things that you mentioned.
I mean, Dave and I can go first, and maybe it'll strike something on you.
Yeah, we can come back to you.
Go first, and then I'll see if I can find something.
Ellen, do you want to go
Dave,
first?
Do you have anything?
I do. People with dogs. No, Ellen, you have a dog, but these motherfuckers out in the streets with their dogs, and they do this annoying thing that I've noticed over the last week, where they'll stop, be on their phone, and the dog's just like, the dog's on a leash and everything, but they don't really sort of like, I don't know what you call it, but like they don't really get the dog like next to them. They just let the dog kind of like roam around the length of the leash, like on the sidewalk. And then like now I'm tasked with like moving around the dog. This guy like a block away from my apartment, I'm coming back from a run, and he's got his dog. He's on his phone talking to somebody, and the dog just like willy-nilly walking around doing shit in the middle of the sidewalk. And I'm like, now I have nowhere to go. What if I'm afraid of dogs? What if I have like issues with dogs? And he looked at me as if like, what? Like there's no issues. I had to go walk into the street. And I've just been noticing that in the last like week or so, where people like when they're either talking to somebody on the street or stop, let their dog kind of like go freestyle. And I just don't get it. It's like, just bring your dog, heal your dog a little bit. It's a really simple thing, but I've been noticing it a lot lately, and especially like on sidewalks when you have to kind of like, and again, with this whole COVID shit, you don't want to be too close to people, so you gotta like walk around, and I'm like, this can easily be solved. You just bring the dog into you a little closer. It's a small beef, but I've been noticing it a lot this week. Maybe because it's been warmer out, Like I just don't get it.
I make my doggy sit right next to me if I stop, even if I'm stopping at a light.
Yeah. It's just simple. Plus, you don't want the dog, like, who knows what the dog's getting into?
Yeah.
Like, while you're not paying attention. Yeah. Like, there's all kinds of shit in New York City on the streets that could be eating or whatever. So anyway, that's my my let's get shitty.
Your beef.
My beef.
My beef is my body failing me because 2 weekends ago, I stepped off a step completely sober and sprained my ankle.
Oh,
right. I forgot about that.
Oh,
and it's been like 10 days now, and it's getting better, but it is so fucking painful. And I don't really want to go to the doctor right now, but if it's still effed up by the end of this week, I'm going to go to the doctor and see. I doubt it's broken because I can walk on it. It actually feels better to walk on it than to just like rest. Resting and sleeping hurts more. I've been icing and elevating and doing all that fun stuff, but I feel like an old lady that I can't step off one step. I didn't fall down a bunch of steps. I wasn't wasted doing something crazy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's always how it happens when you're doing like the most mundane, normal thing.
Ugh.
And ankles are weird. Sometimes it just take a long time to heal. It's like, it's probably just pull some tendons or something.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
now I can't
sucks.
work out. I barely can do anything.
You could do, never mind. As my old coach would be like, you could do a lot if your leg's fucked up. Don't worry.
Well,
but you can.
I mean, it's hard to do a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I could do fucking push-ups with my knees down.
There you go.
I can do maybe some sit-ups, but like I was doing like cardio stuff before this. So.
Well, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, I know. Or wallowing in my misery is fine too.
Can you get on? Well, I mean, no gyms are open, but I was going to say, would you have been able to do like a stationary bike?
I don't know if I can even bike right now because it kind of hurts to.
It even hurts to put any pressure on it. Yeah.
Well, pressure is not. It's the like mobility, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to wrap it up in a way where you wouldn't be able to bend it and it just stayed in one position.
Oh yeah, that might work.
Perhaps then.
Yeah,
some
maybe.
PT tape.
You'd be able to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to wrap it.
Yeah, that's.
I'm afraid to like even. It's mostly like it's not even my ankle. It's like the kind of next to my ankle on the top of my foot. I did something.
Yeah, it's probably a tendon.
So I'm kind of afraid to wrap it.
It's probably like a muscle or a tendon or something you pulled.
Exactly.
And it's just. The foot's hard to like.
2 Saturdays ago.
Oh, okay. So some time has passed. All right, that's good because. Yeah, you would know if you broke it.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to walk on that thing.
I can walk just fine.
Yeah.
Walking up and down stairs hurts. And then mostly like while I'm sleeping, I've been trying to elevate it on a pillow when I'm sleeping, but I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it just feels like somebody took a sledgehammer to it. And it blew up so fat and was bruising all around it. Ugh.
And you have not bought a brace or put any type of brace on it?
No, because I'm afraid to, like, I know that that's supposed to be better. I just don't I think it's not like just my ankle, so I feel like I would brace it in a wrong way. Like I probably should go to the doctor and learn how to brace it properly. You know?
Well, you can just take. I mean, you can also just do like that. Whatever that not PT tape.
An ace band.
Ace bandage, like just start from like your toes and then just go around, like not super tight, but like enough where you don't. It immobilizes a little bit.
Yeah,
I find that helps.
Yeah, or you can even buy one of those compression things. That they make specifically for that.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see the veins again in my feet. It was so fat you couldn't even see the veins.
I mean, too,
at least it's getting better.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Ankles and feet take longer to heal because too there's like less blood flow down there. So if it's just a matter of time. But I would try wrapping it at least a little bit because that'll probably help make it feel a little better, especially if you're like trying to like walk up and down things.
Yeah.
Oh,
it sucks.
It does. Well,
but it makes me feel like an old lady.
Yeah, well, we are getting old. Well, we're going to flush that down the toilet.
No, wait, Frank!
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Sorry.
Oh, let me see. You just reminded me of mine. It's kind of boring, mine. But it's I not being able to work out. I miss the gym. That's not fair. It's a cop-out. I am able to work out. And I've actually been telling all my clients that we can still work out even without a gym. And I do believe that to be true. But that said, I can't deny the fact that I miss going to the gym.
Yeah.
I miss being around people who are also working out and feeling that kind of motivation. And lately, I've had to start trying to recreate that for myself so that it at least feels like a gym environment, which means I need my gym music. I need to put on my gym clothes. Like it can no longer be, oh, I'm home. I don't have to put my gym clothes on. I don't have to play my music. I could just kind of like chill and get in a good workout or whatever. Like that was fine the first couple weeks. But now I'm needing to really kind of make it into a routine because it's getting increasingly more difficult. So for that added self-discipline, I'm using my gym playlist. I used it yesterday. I'm going to use it again today. I've been actually putting on my gym clothes as if it's like a routine.
Yes.
And I'm going to the gym. I'm literally doing everything but going to the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm putting on my gym clothes. I'm bringing my protein shake. I take my creatine or whatever, and do all that shit and put in my headphones and my gym music and I act like I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's it. I mean, everybody's going through the same thing, so I don't really complain about it much, but I do. I miss it.
It's hard to motivate too when you're not around a group of people. Like I usually have a running group that I go with, and we haven't all met up in so long that I mean, occasionally a couple people here and there, but for the most part, I just do it solo, and it's hard to like be like, all right, I gotta go run 10 miles today, and like when it's like 80 degrees out, and the last thing you want to do is go outside.
Yeah,
and it's like
but
a lot
when you have
easier.
A bunch of friends who are expecting you to show up,
it's a little bit like
because then it's kind of like
well, we're doing this. We're all doing this, so I know what you mean. It's a mental thing for sure.
I was doing that in the beginning of the quarantine, where like cardio stuff I didn't want to do, but I would just like tell a friend, "Let's do this tomorrow at 3 p.m." And we'd watch a video and have each other on FaceTime, and so like that helps motivate,
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
it's like an accountability partner. You don't need to hire somebody.
Yeah.
You can. Even though that's what I do and why people hire me a lot of times, I often tell them we don't need, coaches are great, but we can find accountability with other people in our life. I've done that with friends before.
Yeah.
So it's like mutual meetups every week or two. And they get their 45 minutes, I get my 45 minutes. And you don't need a degree to help somebody stay on track,
Yeah. Plus,
so that's a great way to solve it, is to have a friend.
I mean, we're getting into the summer months with this episode, so... people could just go out to the park. Like my wife and I went out for a bike ride last weekend, and there was like a ton of people just like at night, like around 6 o'clock, just working out in the park, like a smaller park, not Prospect Park in Brooklyn here, but like a little smaller one near us. And it was, just get your workout that way if you need to.
Exactly.
So, anyway, we're gonna take those issues and we're gonna flush them down the toilet. We're in the home stretch. We're going to do one little news story, and then we'll get you out of here. So this, I thought we did this story, but we didn't. I must have skipped over it. So this happened in Madison, Wisconsin. And this teacher who was on the verge of retiring. He's from a little town called Milton. He was an English teacher retiring later in the month. This happened like right at the beginning of 2020, so January at some point. He, oh my God, he's got to pay $6,070 for defecating on buildings in a park for 2 fucking years. He'd been shitting. This guy's 60. Jeffrey S. Churchwell of Elkhorn. I have no idea where that is, but it's in Wisconsin somewhere. Has been defecating sometimes several times per day outside of and on a building at the Natureland Park in the Rock County town of Whitewater since 2017.
What, they caught him on video?
Yeah, I mean, he'd been like this Walworth County Sheriff. They found him. Well, they'd been getting all these complaints, and this dude, like, literally, oh my God. He has been, let me scroll down here. This is so crazy. So this happened in January or December. This was when they started getting these reports. But basically, since October, they were getting all these complaints about someone just shitting on this park building. And then either leaving used toilet paper behind or like just nothing. And they couldn't know what the fuck was going on. So the Parks Department was like cleaning this up. And this was happening like up to 5 times a week. That's fucking crazy.
That same human.
And sometimes multiple times per day. Multiple times.
Goodness.
Yeah. So, oh my God.
And you got a fine of $6,000.
Yeah. Well, their cameras had caught this Chevy Malibu parked nearby, and they got like a partial license plate. And on, I think October 8th, it says, of 2019, a deputy saw this guy's vehicle, and they're like, that kind of sounds like this one thing we saw not too long ago, and they pulled him over just based off the picture and the partial plate, and then he just copped to it when they pulled him over.
Wow!
And he was arrested, and then when asked, he just said stupidity. And he had been teaching for 33 years, and he was about to retire that January. So
what?
Yeah, and he'd written a letter to the sheriff's deputy saying that I'm so disappointed in myself. I have a great opportunity now to teach political rhetoric in this class, and I stress the importance of involved citizenship. And then he's just basically saying like how he's been a lousy citizen, and like his hypocrisy sickens him. And as a result, he was fined. Well, he was fined. He had to pay $365 plus another fine of $5,750 or $705 as a restitution because for all the mess that he left. And the time they had to clean that up. But the district that he works out of, they did let him retire with his full pension.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. There was a closed door meeting apparently, but they're like, well, he fucked up, but he was basically in the home stretch, so he just they're just like, yeah, just shut the fuck up and get on with your life, buddy, and clean up your life.
That sounds like a weird addiction, like stealing or something.
Yeah, he said he was just doing it for just for spite and just because he could. He's like being.
And what was he teaching? English. Okay, but didn't he say something about?
Oh yeah, he mentioned that he. Well, I guess in this class he was teaching about political rhetoric in his class.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that how he was stressing about the being a decent citizen and how he just completely.
But
failed.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's the reason he was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I
think that a lot of times we find, not a lot of times, sometimes we find that people are doing the opposite of whatever good deed they do for a living, that they're doing the opposite in their personal life to counterbalance it, because either they don't like what they do or because there's a part of them that feels suppressed or something like that. It's like
it's like Lady G.
Yeah, or like a crooked police officer. I mean, my godfather was he was kind of a crooked cop. It's like I have a few examples in mind, but none of them seem appropriate to say. So because it could get sensitive.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it seems aligned. Like, okay, it could be like the life coach or a psychologist who's like a meth head. Or something like that, is that sometimes it's not fair, the stereotype that, life coaches shouldn't do drugs or whatever. But yeah, it seems kind of aligned in some weird way in my head. Like I'm the son of a police officer, and it's always the children of police officers and priests and things like that who end up being the worst.
Right.
It's almost as if he was doing that because
acting out.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's got a lot of pent up rage. Clearly, because he was just saying like they had photographic. Actually, they said they had photographic evidence, but they didn't say what kind. So he just after that point he just acknowledged it and was like, yeah, that's me.
It's like that was his catharsis.
Yeah. It's like he's like, I want to be caught. Like I need to this is like. But yeah, he said he'd run in the park and then go in the bathroom and just or change in the bathroom, but then just take a shit outside because he could.
Yeah, and he probably thought he'd never get caught, so he was just like. But there was a part of him that probably felt like really cathartic about doing it, and maybe also thought like, oh, and it's really not that big of a deal. Who am I hurting?
Yeah.
Was able to justify it to himself.
Completely. Yeah. Whatever he went through his mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hurting whoever had to clean it up.
Yeah, that's what that's what he paid all that money because he's like they had to keep cleaning that shit up, repainting, and it's just disgusting. Like who wants to clean up human shit, let alone any animal shit, like human shit? Jesus.
Yeah.
So
to me, the money does not. I mean, it's the $6,000 is no drop in the bucket, but the shame is the bigger consequence.
Yeah, I wonder if he moved.
Shame.
I know we know his full name. You just said his.
Yeah, it's on this website. I mean, it was in the news blotter. This guy, Jeffrey S. Churchwell, 60.
Yeah, that is the
60-year-old man taking shits on buildings. Oh my god. Well, Frank, thank you, man, for being on the show with us.
Hey, my pleasure. This was fun.
It was great.
I have not spent this much time talking about shitting and farting probably in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I loved it. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, where can our listeners find you out there if they're looking for a life coach or just anything you want to share out there online?
Find me on Instagram.
Okay.
Find me on Instagram at Vignolagram.
Okay.
Should I spell that?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Vignola and then Graham, all one word. So find me there and or lifecoachingny.com.
Excellent.
And we'll link to it on our Instagram too.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be cool. Yeah.
It'll be also linked into the actual episode too, so anybody can find you. Excellent. But thanks again.
Yay.
Thank you, Frank.
Hey, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
And happy pooping, everybody, and toot, toot, toot.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at Hey Poopy Podcast and Twitter at Hey Poopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.